Chad and Jeremy in Zanzibar Sunset, and I'm pleased to welcome Chad Stewart and Jeremy Clyde right here in the studio. Hi, guys.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Ron. Good morning to you.
Well, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. And Zanzibar Sunset is a new tune?
Well, it's relatively new. Let's put it that way. I mean, let's face it, it was 40 years since The Ark was released, which was our last album on Columbia. So this is new. Yeah. It's sort of new.
New in relation to that, Chad.
Yeah, right.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
The first person who spoke was Chad, and then Jeremy chipped in afterwards, just so you can differentiate.
Yeah, you can differentiate
the two
because I'm
gentlemen here.
the one with the glasses.
Now, I don't know how much you like to talk about the old days, but at least for some of our younger listeners who weren't around like I was as a teenager in 1964, how did the two of you meet? How did you start way back?
Right, we'll take
in
them
England?
way back in days of old. In days of old when nights were bold and records weren't invented.
We met at drama school. I'd been there a year, and somebody came up to me and said, "You're not going to believe this." They kind of knew I strummed a few chords, and they came up to me and said, "There's a guy who can play." This was a big hit at the time. It was Jürgen. What was he playing?
Jürgen Ingman.
Jürgen Ingman over here. Over there, it was Cliff Richard's backing group, The Shadows, and they did an instrumental version of something called Apache. And apparently, this guy, this musical genius, could play Apache the whole way through. And there he is. Listen, there you are. See?
I know it wasn't that hard, but Jeremy was easily impressed.
Well impressed. I mean, I was just knocked out by this. And so that's where we met, and it's been sort of downhill all the way since.
Yeah.
And you were part of the whole British invasion, but I have to imagine there were a number of bands in England that didn't necessarily get over to the States and make it, so to speak.
Yeah, we were.
How did you
we were not. I mean, we weren't part of the invasion. That's the crazy part about it. We sort of fell into it with we were a couple of old folkies. I mean, this is the right program for us folks.
Yeah.
But I mean, how did it happen? I don't know. It's a long story.
Well, all right. Very, very. Cut it down. The
Reader's Digest version.
The Reader's Digest version. Our record label sold our licensed Yesterday's Gone, which was our first record in England, over to a small American label, and they got it into the charts, but the charts they got it into, amazingly, were the country charts.
Okay.
So it all could have been different. We could have been Chad and Jeremiah.
That's right.
But then they discovered we were English and we had hair, and it was all over, really. And so that's how it started.
Right. And we were over there blissfully unaware of any of this.
Yeah.
And so then they whipped us over to the West Coast, put us on the Hollywood Palace, the Dick Van Dyke Show, and God knows what else.
Yeah.
And the rest was history.